Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is David Baugh, and today we're going to be talking about log lines. Now, a log line is basically a one-sentence descriptor. It basically encapsulates everything about your movie into one sentence so that you can kind of easily convey that to people. It's usually among the first steps, if not one of the first steps that you're going to be making in making a feature film. Now, if you've been following along, you know that we've already come up with our initial concept. We've kind of laid the groundwork. We've watched some things that are going to be similar to the types of movie that we're going to be making. And now it's time to kind of boil all of that down into a one-sentence descriptor so that we know what we can do going forward. A few examples of log lines that you can look at. I guess the one from my last movie was a guy that's afraid to go outside, makes up an imaginary friend so that he can keep himself company inside, but when he starts falling for his grocery delivery girl, he has to decide on one or the other or risk losing both. Now with this, the reason I'm telling you that, obviously if you want to go see that movie you can, but the reason I'm kind of getting into that is because it tells me a bunch of things about the movie that I'm going to be making. It tells me who my main character is. It tells me kind of what the goal is that he's trying to accomplish. He's trying to get the girl in the end. It tells me who the antagonist is, or the main sort of struggle that's going to be taking place. In this case, he's fighting against his imaginary friend. Gerard was the name of the movie. With other movies that you can look at, one that I can think of in particular, which was a really, really effective logline, and one that really helped to get sold, was the one for Juno, which was a girl in high school gets pregnant, or something to that effect. Basically, a girl gets pregnant, it sums it up very nicely. You know exactly what it's going to be, you know what the end result's going to be, you know what you're kind of working towards. Obviously, she's taking the baby to term, that sort of thing. It tells you what sort of issue she's going to be having without telling you exactly what that's going to be. For this movie, I wanted to do a sort of possession movie. If you watch the last one, you know that that's sort of in line with what I've been doing. The log line I'm going with on this one is a group of people go out to a cabin in the middle of the woods, and when they start getting possessed one by one, they have to fight to survive, or they're all going to die. Now, it's a pretty short sentence. We're not kind of reinventing the wheel here. We're not asking you to start by writing a whole bunch of paperwork. You're really beginning at the very first steps. You're taking that concept that you had, that sort of idea that you were working on, and you are nailing it down just a little bit further. It's making a movie is a lot like I imagine what being a sculptor would be like. You start with a piece of marble that's just a huge thing. This is just chiseling away at it so that it's exactly what you want it to be. In the end, you will have taken away all of the unnecessary marble, and you'll have only the thing that you really, really want. So this is sort of that first step in taking what we effectively set up in the last episode as just our block of marble, and we are narrowing it down just that much further. We're adding a sentence. The next episode, we're going to be breaking it down a little bit further from there, but with this, you are just trying to do that specifically. Now, in terms of, because we are doing this like a case study almost in exactly how you make a movie, so I don't want to just tell you what this is and kind of leave you to it. There are a number of things that go into every log line, so you don't have to really think about this. You don't have to make this any harder on yourself than it has to be. The things that it's going to set up for you, it's going to set up your location. In this instance, I want to do it in a cabin in the woods. I know that that's going to be something that I can attain. I know it's something that is fairly cheap in the grand scheme of things, and it can be done in a sort of myriad of locations. We can have a really terrible cabin in the woods. We can have a really nice cabin in the woods. Either way, we know effectively where we're going to be. It also tells you who the characters are going to be. It's going to be a group of people. In this movie in particular, I'm going with 5 different characters. We'll explain exactly what that entails later, but I know generally speaking what those are going to be. I know what the antagonist is, who the person they're fighting against, which is this unseen evil that's sort of possessing them and turning them into, I guess, minions of its own. And it tells us kind of what they have to do. They have to try and fight back. They are going to try and get out, you know. And it tells you what the consequences are. It's pretty much certain death, you know. It's you want it to be very primal in its urges. You want it to be something that people can understand. I guess in my first one, it was everybody has fallen in love with somebody or had a girl get in between friends. You know, it's an understandable plot that people can approach, and it's just something to whet the appetite at this point. You're not trying to tell them every single detail about everything that's going to take place in your movie. You're telling them the stuff that they absolutely need to know in order to be able to move further with your idea. Oftentimes this is just the thing that opens the door. In the next episode, we're going to be talking over creating a treatment. So basically just narrowing that a little bit further. But until next time, it was a pleasure as always. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. But you guys have a wonderful evening. Hello Internet, my name is David Baugh, and I wanted to talk to you today about the start of something new.